Welcome to the Indie Spotlight Podcast. I am your host, Mike Odyssey, and I have the pleasure and the honor with being with one of our developers from Indie Mania, a Spotlight developer, Robert from Cactus Productions. How are you doing, Robert?
Hey, hi, Mike. Thanks for having me. Really happy to be here and stressed about the release of my game. But yeah, really happy.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I know we are in two different time zones. I'm in the East Coast here in the United States. But where are you right now?
I'm in Italy, but I'm used to working with people all around the globe.
Yeah.
Like our musician is from Argentina.
Oh wow!
So
that is awesome. And it's the same musician that worked on the game that we were talking about today.
Yes,
that is
absolutely.
All right. So before we get into the game, I just want to, I want our viewers to get to know you as a developer a little more. And I think that's what Indie Mania was all about, kind of shining a light on our developers. And so the Indie Spotlight podcast is a child of Indie Mania, and I'm so glad to have you on board for this very first episode. And today is a very special day. Roberto will tell you later on why this is a special day. But let's go ahead and get into the interview questions. So you guys get to know more about Roberto. All right, so can you tell me about yourself and how you got started as a game developer?
How? Yeah, as a lot of developers, I had a dream, and the dream was like, hey, what about making great games, for all the players out there?
Of course.
And so I started in my little room back in 2019, something like that, And there was only me, my computer, and my ideas, And so it was difficult times, like COVID happened in the meanwhile. And I was like, I really want to get in the industry, and then we got COVID.
Oh, man.
But after that, I had an idea, and I just needed a team, okay? So I start, gathering, my people all around me, getting to know them, creating a team, creating, the idea, all about the game. And so basically in July 2020 or 2021, can't remember, we created a little demo for the game, and our first conference was GDC.
Oh wow!
Okay, because they had some giveaways for the events, and I was like, I can just submit my application, and you can see, and it's amazing to see. Okay, guys, big announcement. We've been selected. We're going to GDC online because for the pandemic. But okay, so that's basically the beginning of Cactus production.
That is awesome. That is so awesome. And so you wanted to begin 2019 prior to the world pandemic and everything. And so you overcame that, and today we have Cactus Production with such an amazing game, by the way. We presented at Indie Mania. So congratulations on that amazing game. We're going to talk about it more today. Let's see here. When it comes to the game development process, what was the most challenging part of developing your game, and how did you overcome it?
I think that the worst enemies for game development are developers itself and their ideas. It's more like I see plenty of people like, hey, I've got this great idea, big open world, classes, fighting, whatnot. And I'm like, hey, I'm making a game about, memories, ideas, and whatnot. So it's just, you have to fight with yourself, and try to narrow it down and create an idea, basically, that's gonna work. I think that's, the mostly hard part of development.
That makes sense because, when you're first developing, it's like you have to kind of contain yourself and then narrow your vision so that that game comes to fruition, because you're looking at everything at the same time. And they're making big games here, open, like you said, open world and stuff. So to bring it down to that one vision, this is what we have to do. This is what I have to focus on. Ignore the noise and everything else and just focus on this. So I completely understand it. It's kind of similar with content creation, because you're looking at everybody else all their videos. I'm like, man, how do I create that and that? You can't. You just have to focus on this, you know. So, can you share any memorable moments or funny moments that you've had like in the process of creating this game?
Ooh. The most important moment, okay, is related to the composer, to Rodrigo. Big shout out to Rodrigo. He is in Argentina, and I discovered him randomly on Reddit. Wow. Literally, he posted an announcement on an indie community. It was like, hey, I'm a web developer, you know, I'm from Argentina, I would like to get in the industry. And 5 minutes later that he posted, I found this comment, I forwarded to my screenwriter and I said, okay, we have to take this guy. I love him.
Wow.
And he's still with us. And that's amazing. You know?
It is. I mean, only in the industry can you find that, like that type of collaboration.
Yeah.
Argentina, you and Italy is like from all over the world just kind of come together. That's amazing. That's incredible. That is very memorable because it was meant to be.
I love the idea that he trusted us for like 3 years and we never met once, you know, and that's amazing. You know, the relationship that you can build up with people all around the globe, you know, amazing. I love Rodrigo. I mean, my man.
Shout out to Rodrigo. Fantastic work on that soundtrack. Good job. That is awesome. And let's see here. So what do you enjoy? We're not working on games. So do you have any personal hobbies?
Yeah. Apart from playing video games, of course.
Yeah.
I recently managed to, you know, keep reading, you know, and reading like daily, you know, on a daily basis. I rediscovered the beauty of reading. So big shout out to books and culture. Music accompany me like every day. It's, you know, 24 hours with headphones and good music. I love beer, personally. Good beer and good food from Italy.
Oh, you live in the best place for that. So
yeah. Well, I mean, there's plenty of hobbies, to be honest. You know?
Yeah.
Making games.
Of course. And it goes back to making games, like to your first love. So that is awesome. Now I'm going to ask you well, before we get into your game, I'm going to ask you just one more question. And I want you to think about this. Think about this question. This is like the most important question you could ever have in your entire life. Okay. If you could be any game character from a video game, which game character would you be and why?
Oh boy. Well, just thinking, you know, out of the box, I would say like Sora from Kingdom Hearts. Because it was one of my first games, to be honest. I started playing rather, you know, I missed the PlayStation 1 and whatnot. I started with PlayStation 2. I was a little kid, you know, back in the 90s with plenty of games in English. And I'm from Italy, you know, I didn't know English too well back in the days. And I was like, oh, what's going on there? But then you got Goofy, you know, and all the characters. I'm like, yeah, you know, Goofy. But yeah, I think Super Mario or Ratchet & Clank, you know, Ratchet from the series, you know. So this character really brave ones, you know, loyal to his friends, you know, fighting for what's good, you know. I think that I would go in that direction.
I like it. And then you mentioned one of my favorite characters, Sora from Kingdom Hearts. That's super awesome. Yeah, he's a very awesome, very to me, I was surprised when that game came out because it was a collaboration with Square Enix and Disney of all people. All right, so let's dive into your game, your creation, your vision. Tell us a little bit more about how did Everyday Story come to life? Where did that inspiration come from, and your vision for this game?
So back in the days, you know, at the beginning, I was like, I'm really into platformers, you know, and I had this idea of creating a very simple game with, well, basically the only idea I had was like this wooden stick, jumping on a roof and interacting with another guy made of glass, you know, and now, you know, the elements, can interact with them and solve puzzles based on the materials. And so that was the basic idea, you know. So I started prototyping a little in Unity, and then, I got in touch with my best friend Alessio, and I was like, hey, Alessio, I'm developing this stuff, maybe you can write something about that. And so we came with the idea of narrating this story, an everyday story, really, in which basically you will revisit the memories of this artisan, Italian-American artisan, from the point of view of these little trinkets. So a tin soldier, a wooden boat, and a batch origami. And basically you will discover, his life, his loved one, the memories, happy moments, sad moments too, because, life. But basically that was the idea.
To add to that, so every little trinket in this game that comes to life has its own like little background story or history of how it came to be.
Yeah, basically, I won't spoil too much. About the game. But for example, this little guy here, the tin soldier, is tied to the father. Okay. The father was a soldier back in the 90s. He departs from war, life. So the main protagonist is really tied to this little guy, because it reminds him of his father. So he doesn't want to lose him, something like that. Rather than, this little wooden boat. Okay. This was made by our main protagonist and gifted to his wife. So, it's a symbol of love, so very important one. And finally, the little batch origami, it's like a little Batarang from Batman, to be honest. This little fellow is made by the son of the main protagonist, okay? Because he is really into origamis and he wanted to make him and to make him in his dad proud, okay? And so he just works, day and night to make this perfect little origami, for him, and that's the idea.
I like it. Yeah, it does give you because the trailer itself kind of gives you that hint that there's a personal connection to each of the little characters there. So what an amazing story.
The cat. Hopefully he won't jump.
Hopefully we get a cat game one day. Also inspired by your cat.
We don't have cats in our game, but we've got dogs.
Oh, okay, cool. Awesome.
And there's one specific dog, Oswald is its name. He is really important.
Okay, perfect. Share no more. That's good though. So that's enough. Like a little bit of a like a taste here for you guys to be expecting an everyday story game. Anything else you want to share about the game that you think fans might want to know without giving away too much when it comes to the creation of the process and little things that you've encountered along the way while creating the game?
Well, the most important thing that I want to share is that being an indie dev is really tough. A lot of challenges, especially if you are financing your creation, and you have like 10 people that's they are trusting you and they are following you for 3 years. That's a lot of time. Okay. And so you have to make some sacrifices, like, hey, it's summer, people are going to the sea, and you are like in your room working on the game because you cannot afford to stop for like 1 month or 1 month, and so now that we are basically done, it brings me so much joy to see people, playing the game, receiving positive feedbacks, and I just want people to experience our story, and, just think about their loved ones, their personal trinkets, and just have, good time. Basically, that's the message that we really want to give our players.
That's amazing. That's amazing, and I can see it. I when I first saw this trailer, I saw the personal connection, and then one of the things that we mentioned at Indie Mania was that every game is a piece of the developer. It belongs to them, to part of them, and so when you're playing a game like an everyday story, you are playing a little part of Roberto and his team and all the hard work that went into creating this masterpiece, because it's beautiful. It's a work of art. Every single little character, the movements, the story, the music. There's a lot that went behind this game, and I think it's about to pay off really, really well. And so to that, when is this game out again?
Right now?
Today?
So
that means that right after this podcast, we can go get that game, download it, and start playing it?
Absolutely.
And where is it available?
On Steam.
On Steam. Awesome.
Yeah.
And so right now the game is available on Steam right now. Go ahead and get that. There is a link down below in the description from this podcast. This is a 100% video podcast because we can't show you this on an audio podcast. And there's only one way to enjoy a video game is with your eyes, not with just your ears. So game is available today. Any last words you would like to give out to any aspiring developers that is in the same position that you were back in 2019?
Don't lose hope and focus, okay? And just stick to the plan, okay? It's gonna be tough. That's, in the end, it's your ideas, you have to just get out there, get to the players, try your best. Hopefully, everything will do just fine.
That is the best advice. Don't lose hope. Never give up. Stick to your plan. Stick to your vision, and see it through, no matter how difficult it gets. Because it will get difficult. Yeah, it will get difficult. So thank you, Roberto, and I thank you, the Cactus Production, all the team for being a part of this podcast. The first episode here, you made this history here, being the first guest here. Do you have? By any chance, do you have any digital codes you would like to share with our
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. So if you want one of these digital codes, go ahead and just, all you got to do is write down in the comments, what is your favorite part of this trailer? That's it. Just write down what is your favorite part of this trailer, and then give thanks to Roberto for giving you that code, and we'll select them, and then we'll send you the code after. You guys can enjoy this amazing game. And once again, let me go ahead and change here. Thank you, Roberto, for being part of the Indie Spotlight, the very first episode with An Everyday Story. It is truly an honor to have you, and we can't wait for the world to experience your game and see the vision you have created.
Yeah, it was truly an honor, to be honest, to be the first one too.
Yeah.
A big shout out to all the team of Cactus Production. I mean, I just, add awesome words for Rodrigo, but don't forget there are other people, of course, on the backstage, so especially big shout out to Alessio, my best friend, who trusted me from the beginning and wrote the story. So hopefully the story we made, our everyday story will be something truly remarkable for you too.
That is awesome. We're glad. And so guys, catch up An Everyday Story right now on the Steam website. There's a link down below in the description. Again, if you want to call, just leave what you feel is the best part for you of that trailer. That way you guys can study that trailer really well, play the game, get ready to play it. It's available now. Catch it at the Steam website. And that's going to do it for this first episode of Indie Spotlight here at the Indie Mania YouTube channel. And of course, I'll put it on my Odyssey channel as well, so we can get more reach. Thank you for being here. We'll see you in the next one. Never give up. Journey on. Peace.
Peace.
I would like to tell you a story. It won't be a fancy tale about knights and dragons. It's just the story of a family. I just want to remind you how important it is to remember.
This is an everyday story.